Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to our playthrough of Nemo's War. As you can see, we've got a very crowded ocean here in this one. So we're picking back up from our playthrough this morning. We've got the Arabian Tunnel open between the European seas and the Indian Ocean. We might be having to do a little bit of ship sinking here just to make some room so we don't lose the game on a whole mess of spawning. But let's give this a shot and see what we can do about finishing this game up. I'm just going to double check something here. Let's see, I'm just checking on. So we would put hidden ship tokens out, I believe, when we go to place anything. Yes. Okay, actually we lose. Okay, well, let's start off with our next event card. So here we find the transatlantic cable. We were about 500 miles from Heart's Content at a depth of more than 1,400 fathoms that I saw the electric cable lying on the bottom. While the Nautilus is in the North Atlantic, you may fail and immediately perform free insight and or search actions, but no more than 3 combined. For each one, you gain +1 notoriety, and at game's end, pass if unused. So now we need to get the... So now we need to roll for ship placement. Okay, so we're going to be having a lull turn here, which means we are placing ships in 4 and 5. So we put a hidden ship token in the South Atlantic for 4. And then on 5 we'll be placing twice. So 5 is up to the European seas. We see that's full though. So we can't replace a hidden ship token in there. Actually place a hidden ship token in an adjacent ocean. We can't do that either. Then we replace a hidden ship token with a ship token from the ship draw pool, but we don't have any of those either. So now we're flipping a non-revealed warship to its warship side. I'm going to grab another die for this. Evens odds. Odds, so we're flipping the taping into the French armored frigate Normandy. Attack strength of 6, defensive strength of 10, 1 notoriety if we sink it, and 1 warship victory point. Well, that's great. So that was our ship placement, our first ship placement there. So now we're flipping the other one. Here we find an Italian ironclad raid to Portogallo. Attack strength of 7, defensive strength 10, 1 notoriety if we sink it, and 2 warship victory points. Okay, and because we had 5 minus 5 is 0, we have a lull turn. I sat on 1 action point, but I think we're going to sit tight on that. Let's see what else happens on... Oh, so we only place on the white die. So we don't have the... So that doesn't flip... Actually, no. This one doesn't flip yet. The Mary Celeste is still there. Okay. So treasure available in the Doubles Ocean and on the Adventure deck. So the Doubles Ocean is a 5 and on the Adventure deck. No Uprising cubes and no action points. I think we are going to try to rest here, since we'll do that for 1 action. So I'm not going to exert anything here. So we'll rest and try to heal. That's a 6, since we didn't exert anything. Battle drill, so no effect on rest. That's unfortunate. I really could have used that this turn. Okay, so that brings us to a new event phase. Our next event is Act 3. The Nautilus went at a frightful pace, 40 miles an hour. It literally tore through the water. Where was Captain Nemo? Had he succumbed? Were his companions dead with him? We can either change Nemo's motive or select a Nautilus upgrade for purchase. Add the orange reinforcement ship group to the ship draw pool and continue play with the next card. Roll 3 white dice and 1 black die to begin each placement phase, choosing any 2 of the white dice to determine action points or a lull turn. So we add the orange ships now to the ship cup. Mix up. Okay. And we continue with the next card. So our next actually, do I want to change our motivation? I think I'm going to be doing a fair amount of fighting here, so I'm wondering if I want to... I'm wondering if I do want to take up the option to change my motivation. I don't really want to lose all of the adventure cards that I've got, so I think we're just going to leave the motivation as is. So we'll draw our next card for the event phase. Here we will draw a hollow explosion. What sort of craft is it, Ned? From its rigging and its low mast, the Canadian replied. I bet it's a warship. Here's hoping it pulls up and sinks this damned Nautilus. Uh-oh. Fail and add the red reinforcement ship group to the ship draw pool, but before doing so, discard a random red ship card for each of the first 3 notoriety defeats not yet achieved. So we haven't achieved any of the notoriety defeats. So discard 1 random red ship for each of the first 3 notoriety defeats not achieved yet. So 1 random ship for each of the first 3. So if we're defeated by science, explore, or anti-imperialism, we discard 3 of these ships. Okay. So I'm going to roll these up. Well, shake them up anyway. 1 being discarded. 2 and 3. So those are the 3 ships we're losing. And now we have to add, what did we have to do? Add 1 random undiscarded to the Nautilus's current ocean, which is the South Atlantic, and immediately fight it. So this is the one we're fighting. Okay. The rest of those are going to go in. And we find, this is going to be a problem. The British battleship Audacious. Attack strength of 10, defense strength of 13. Yikes. 3 notoriety if we sink it. So we have to fight that thing immediately. And unfortunately it doesn't have the it's not magnetic, it's not metal, so we don't get to attack it first. So now we have to attack so now the Audacious is attacking us. Okay. And it needs a 10 or lower to hit, so this is probably going to hurt. No other ship there, thankfully. That's a 6, so that will definitely be a hit, but fortunately it's only 1 hit. So we are going to lose. A 5 is a hull point. So we should be up at fighting trim. And now we're down to fighting trim, losing points for that. That is a major problem. So I'm going to have to try to sink this thing right here. So I basically need a very high roll. I'm going to exert... I might have to exert everything on this. Yikes. Okay, so we are attacking with the strength and prow, so that's a +1. Maximum of 1 resource, so I'm going to exert the crew for a +2. So we want this to be a high roll. Which a 7 + 2 is 9 is not a high roll. So the crew is exerted for a loss, essentially. Yikes. Okay, so that didn't work out for us at all there. Okay. I gain a notoriety and lose... Okay, so we do gain a notoriety for the attack there. So we're up to 10 notoriety. Which means we're back to doing placement. So now, because we're in Act 3, we need the 3 white dice and the black die. Okay, so we're placing in... So we're going to be placing quite a few. So ship 1... Actually, I wonder if we... Well, let's see. We'll start off with the Western Pacific. We can't place anything there. These are already warships. Right? Yes, those are already warships. So hidden ship in this ocean we can't do. Hidden ship in an adjacent ocean, we can't do that either. Reveal a hidden ship in that ocean or an adjacent ocean, we also can't do that. Flip a white non-warship to its adjacent, or to its warship side, so we do have plenty of those. And that's either in that ocean or an adjacent. Actually, we've got quite a few we could pick from. Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yowza. So we've got a lot of choices here of what we could flip there. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to... So let me mark this way. We'll start with 1. Then we'll work our way down the board, 3, and end up with 6 on the Tinwald over in the Indian Ocean. Actually, I need a different die for that because I need to leave... Because I need to know what these dice are so I know where I'm placing. I'm going to grab a blue die out so I can roll that. That is a 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, wait a minute. I just realized I've actually got 7 options I could pick from. Because the Western Pacific is actually adjacent to the Central Pacific as well. So I'm going to re-roll that with a D8. So I'm going to go 1 to 6, 7, 8's a re-roll. Alright, so 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we flip the Royal Adelaide into the Ister. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 9, 0 points for a warship, a British frigate. Okay, that can go over there. Let's see, so that was placement 1. 4 is going to place a ship in the South Atlantic. So we will place, oh yikes, a warship, the Hercules. Attack strength of 8, defense strength of 11, 2 notoriety if we sink it, a British capital ship, and 4 warship points. Alright, so that's placement in Ocean 4. And we've got 2 and 6. Hidden ship in that ocean. We've got a hidden ship over here at the Cape of Good Hope. So we'll reveal that. Oh, yikes. We've got the Omaha, a U.S. Ironside ship. Attack strength of 9, defense strength of 11, 2 notoriety if we sink it. Okay, that was our first 6 placement, so now we're flipping one of these. We'll go evens, odds. Oop, no. Where did I put that blue die that I had out? A 6, so we're flipping the Clyde. That will flip into Wyvern, a British ironclad. 1 notoriety if we sink it. Attack strength of 7, defense strength of 10. Okay, that's all of our ship placement done. So now we choose 2 dice to use for placement. I'm going to take the 1 and the 6 for obvious reasons. That'll actually give me 5 points into the action phase. Let's see. The ships are getting very crowded here. I think we're going to have to try... We're starting to creep up in notoriety a little bit more than I would like. So I think for 1 action point, let's see, Incite places it in an empty land space and reduce my notoriety. Okay. Let's go ahead and take 1 action to try to perform an Incite action in the South Atlantic. So we'll roll 2 dice for that. 8 on an Incite action is no effect. That's great. I'll spend an action to move into the Eastern Pacific. Remember, I can move 2 because I've got the hydro drive. So I'm going Cape Horn and going to the Eastern Pacific. Then for action 3... For action 3, I'm going to see if I can clear some of this out. I'm going to do a stalk attack, or a bold attack, actually, I think we're doing, on the... yeah, we'll go for a bold attack on... Yeah. So we'll attack on a bold attack, and we'll start with the city of Adelaide. So we get a +1 on the attack. We need at least an 8 to sink it. I'm not going to worry about exerting anything. That's a 5. +1 is 6. So unfortunately, we fail the attack. Okay. So bold attack if we succeed. So we fail, and I'm just double checking if the fail. Yeah, we gain a notoriety. So we gain a notoriety. And 1 more action. I think we will try the attack again. We'll run it back on the Adelaide again. Am I going to exert anything here? I think the answer is I'm going to exert the hull. That's an 8, so I do it naturally, which I will sink the city of Adelaide, bumping my notoriety up by 2. And that's in the Eastern Pacific. I will take that as... I'll take that as tonnage in this case. And I'll continue with a bold attack. Unfortunately, well, I was going to say I'm going after warships now, but I'm actually not. So I'm actually going to go after the Ariel next. I will leave the hull exerted. Using my strength and prow, I need at least a 9, and I've got a +1 modifier. Oop, I don't have the, well, I do have the dice tower and shot, but that is a terrible roll. That's a 4. Fortunately, we don't add the blue reinforcement group yet, but I am going to sit on the last action point. So now starting the next event, next up we find a novel proposal. The first thing I noticed was a range of mountains about 2,000 feet high, the shapes of which were most capricious. I knew that we were nearing the island of Ceylon, the pearl which hangs from the lobe of the Indian peninsula. It's a test of 9. I can exert the hull if I want to. If I pass, P and reveal 1 additional Nautilus upgrade card which is now available for purchase. Fail, it just goes in the fail pile. I am not going to exert the hull on this one. So we'll put the dice tower right there so we can actually see the result. That is a 7, so we fail, which means that just goes in the fail pile. And now we're rolling for ship placement. Okay, so we're placing in 1, 3, and 5. Alright, so we start off in Ocean 1, which means we're back to potentially flipping again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because those are adjacent oceans. If white dice rolled and selected are doubled, so I'm going to use the 5 and the 3 as my dice for this turn, so we won't have a lull turn. So for 1, we're deciding which one we're flipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is a reroll. That is a 2, so we're flipping the chance. That will flip into, and it's connected for placement. So that flips into the French frigate Bristol. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 9. No war of ship victory points. Ocean 3, we've got no hidden ships there, no hidden ships adjacent. Reveal a hidden ship in that or an adjacent ocean, nothing there. So we're flipping a ship over to its warship side. Evens odds for the Zealand or the Agamemnon. Odds, we're flipping the Agamemnon, so a British freighter is turning into a U.S. ironclad dictator. Attack strength of 7, defense strength of 10. 1 notoriety if we sink it, 2 warship victory points. And that was 3, so now we're flipping the Zealand as well. This flips into the British armored frigate Achilles. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 10. 1 notoriety if we sink it, 1 warship point. And then 5. No hidden ships there, so we're flipping the Mary Celeste. So we flip that into... Now we flip it into the Rey de Portugallo. An Italian ironclad, 1 notoriety if we sink it. Attack strength of 7, defense strength of 10, 2 warship points. And that's our placement for... That's our ship placement. So now we get 2 action points. So 1, 2. Gross. Well, I think we're going to take an action to try to incite. And I'm going to exert Nemo because I do want to try to knock my notoriety down a bit here. Because I'm getting a little bit close for comfort to adding that blue ship group. So +2. 9 plus 2 is 11. So we succeed. We place an uprising cube and reduce notoriety by 1. In the Eastern Pacific, Did we have any? Actually, I don't think we had anything we could incite in the Eastern Pacific. So never mind that. We're going to pretend we didn't do that. Instead, I'm going to try to attack the Ariel. We're still going to leave Nemo exerted, though, with a +3 total dice roll modifier. So we're declaring a bold attack on the Ariel. Four plus 2 is 6, so we lose the Nemo that we exerted. And we gain a notoriety. And I'll move into the... let's move over to the South Pacific. And I'll sit on the action point for another turn. So our next event coming up... Troubled Dreams. I tried to keep my eyes open, but they closed in spite of me. I was in the grip of anguished hallucinations. Test of 8, we can exert Nemo if we want. Pass to keep this card. Pass to change any one die's result only, regardless of its color, why it was rolled, or how many other dice were rolled with it, to any other result that you choose. Fail, it goes in the fail pile. At game's end, passive unused. Given how poorly I'm rolling, I'm going to exert Nemo here, since that's the only resource I can exert. For +3, which boxcars will easily do that. So Nemo goes back, and we keep this. So now we've got a total manipulation. Okay. So now we're rolling for ship placement. How crowded is the ocean getting? Looks like we are very much crowded for comfort. There are ways that we could lose the game here. Because if we end up getting a... I'm trying to figure out how we would lose the game, because there is a way we can right here. Draw a warship token and place it in an empty location. So if we end up getting that filled, actually if we end up getting these two filled and we need to draw another ship, we lose the game. So let's see what happens here. We want to avoid seeing a lot of 2s and 4s. Okay, I don't completely hate that roll. We do have a 2 though. So we start from Ocean 1. We are flipping, so from Ocean 1 we've got all warships out here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 and 6 will be re-rolls. I'm going to select the 6 and the 2 as my action point rolls this turn. That's a 6, which I think was a re-roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5 and 6 are re-rolls. All right, 5 still a re-roll. 2. Okay, we can work with that. So we'll flip the Alfred into... Glare is strong here. The British armored frigate Agincourt. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 10. 1 notoriety if we sink it, 1 warship point. Okay, yikes. So Ocean 2, which is our token, gets a hidden ship token there. Ocean 3, I should say, is full. We can't flip anything there. We can flip in an adjacent ocean. So we're flipping the Scotia into U.S. frigate Pensacola. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 9, no warship points. And then 6 is full, so we're flipping the tin-walled. So that's turning into British frigate Undaunted. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 9. Okay, and then we're using the 6 and the 2 to get 4 action points. Yuck. So now we're in the South Pacific. Yikes. Well, I think action 1 is going to have to be to make an attack on the Ellen Sanford, or the Ellen Southard. And I will exert Nemo to get +3 to the roll. So it's a +4 total, since we're trying to ram this thing. That's a 9, +3 is 12. So we do manage to sink the... Ellen Southard, which does give me 2 notoriety. Unfortunately, that does put the blue warships in the... That does put the blue warships in the cup. Let's see, in the South Pacific, which isn't a major ocean, so it looks like I'm taking this as tonnage, or as a salvage. Okay. So that was my first action point. Next, I'm going to spend 2 to go on an adventure. So here we will find Jaws wide open. Uh-oh. The shark returned when I saw Captain Nemo rise suddenly, dagger in hand, ready to fight the monster. With wonderful quickness, he buried his dagger deep into its side. A terrible combat ensued. It's an 8 test and we can exert Nemo, and we will. Pass or fail and gain a Nemo, fail and lose 1 Nemo. So we are leaving Nemo exerted for a +3. A 7 + 3 is 10, so we can either pass this or fail and gain a Nemo. So I think we will actually fail it. So we'll actually take the fail and gain 1 Nemo. Because I want to try to keep him away from that. That goes in the fail pile. And then we're going to try to rest. Resting costs me 1 or 2 actions. Oh, 2 during a... Yeah, that's probably fine. We'll spend our last 2 actions to try to rest here. And I'm not going to exert anything here. So let's see what we want to do. Let's see what we roll. A 5 is a pretty terrible roll. Well, battle drill for no effect. Okay, we're out of action points, so we're back to the next round. And we've got a pearl worth 10 million. There, between its leaf-like folds, I saw a loose pearl as big as a coconut. Its globular shape, perfect clarity, and wonderful orient made it a jewel of incalculable value. Carried away by curiosity, I stretch out my hand to take it, weigh it, fondle it. We keep this, while in the Indian Ocean, for 1 action, we may test 10, and we have the option of exerting the crew. If we pass, it goes into the fail pile, and we collect 3 treasures. Fail, it goes in the fail pile, and we gain a notoriety. At game's end, pass if unused. So that's something we get in the Indian Ocean. We're rolling for ship placement, though. Well, let's see where we place. Okay, wow, a lot of 6s. Which is very irritating, so I'll take a 1 and a 6. A 1 puts a hidden ship token in the... 1 is going to put a hidden ship token in the... Let's see, hidden ship in that ocean, no. Hidden ship in an adjacent ocean, no. Actually, we will be placing a hidden ship in the South Pacific. Okay. Yep, hidden ship token. Then replace the hidden ship. Then the 6s are going to have us busy here. So we try to place a hidden ship token in the Indian Ocean, but we can't. So we try to replace a hidden ship token. Okay. We try to place a hidden ship in an adjacent ocean. We can't do that. Hidden ship token, no. Flip a revealed non-warship to its warship, which we can't do that either because these are all warships. So now we're drawing a warship and place it in any rectangle anywhere. And we are going to be placing one in the South Pacific, so we'll place it there first. And we draw a warship. Armored frigate, a French armored frigate, the Redoubtable. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 10. 1 notoriety if we sink it, and 1 warship victory points. That goes into the South Pacific, and we immediately have to fight it. Fortunately, because it's armored, we do get to attack first. And I will... what do I want to do here? I'm feeling like I need to exert Nemo here. Well, yeah, we're going to exert Nemo for a +2, plus a +1 on the strength and prow for a total of +3. And we also get the treasure from the adventure that we went on. I have been terrible about remembering that. Discard and either lose 1 resource or character. Yikes. Let's lose... let's lose Ned Land. He's unfortunately going to take the big sleep into Davy Jones's locker. Now back to our attack. We need to get at least a 10, so I'm going to exert Nemo to try to get that. So let's see what we can do here. That's +2. 7 plus 2 is 9. Unfortunately, that is not enough to beat the defense strength, so we lose the Nemo. And now the Redoubtable gets to attack us back. So now they need at least a 6 to hit us. That's a 10, so no effect there. Then we place a warship here, because we're trying to do another placement. We really need to sink that Redoubtable this turn. And we find as a warship coming out, I don't know what nationality that is. The Waskar, it's an ironclad. Attack strength of 7, defense strength of 10. And then on our... Whoa, that didn't leap to where I wanted it to go. Then we've got our last ship placement in the South Atlantic. Oh dear. We have got the warship Borda. What side does that come out on? Let's see, draw a warship. Okay. Let's place it showing its purple side if the notoriety has not yet passed. Showing its non-purple side. Okay, so we haven't passed 36 yet. So we have the Borda coming out as a French capital ship. Attack strength of 8, defense strength of 11, 2 notoriety if we sink it, 4 warship points. We really need to sink something this round. Well, even if we sink something, we might still lose the game unless we get 4. Well, unless we get 4 of the same result. So we're getting... Well, if we get 4 of the same result, we'll still be placing 3 ships and we will lose. Let's go for action 1. We will try to sink the Redoubtable again. So we're going to exert Nemo, I think. Yeah, we'll exert Nemo for the +3. Total of +4. Which that's a 4, so we lose the Nemo. He's getting erratic on us. And then the Redoubtable will attack us back. That's a boxcar, so thankfully we don't get hit. And I know there was a special roll for snake eyes, but thankfully there's no boxcars. So yeah. I think we're going to move next into the Eastern Pacific. Then we're going to go for a bold action. We will start by targeting the Ariel. So we need at least an attack strength of a 9. And I'm going to exert the crew for this one. We're getting dangerously close to Nemo being broken. Let's see, that's a 6 plus 2 is 8, so unfortunately we do fail that, so we lose the crew result. And we will run it back again. I'm pretty sure we're just about to lose the game here. Even with the reroll. Yeah, let's exert the crew again. That's an 11 plus 2 is 13, so we do sink the Ariel. I'm going to take it as tonnage, and then we'll continue our bold attack. We'll go after the America next. We'll leave the crew exerted here. That's a 7 plus 2 is 9, so we fail that attack. And actually, I could use that to any other result, so I think instead I will turn that 4... Is there a way we don't just lose the game here? I think... Yeah, I think we're going to have to change that to a 6. Yeah, we'll change that to a 6. And then we will take the America. We'll take that as tonnage as well. Then I will bold attack. I'll go after the Lord Clyde next. And we will leave the crew exerted for this one. So that probably goes in the... We'll put that in the fail pile, I think, since we've already used it. Let's see, that's an 8 plus 2 is 10, so we sink the Lord Clyde. We'll take that as tonnage, and then we'll go after the Huascar. We'll leave the crew exerted yet again. That's a 5, plus 2 is 7. Unfortunately, that is not enough. So the Huascar will get to attack us back with an attack strength of a 7, which a 9 won't hit us. So that's fortunate-ish. And I've got my crew members that I have not been paying attention to. So yeah, we're not even going to worry about them at this point. Because I'm pretty sure no matter what we do, we're just about to lose the game here. So let's see what we draw. Required repairs. Uh-oh. The Nautilus seemed becalmed only a few yards beneath the surface of the waves. I suppose that the crew is occupied with internal repairs, rendered necessary by the violence of the mechanical movements of the machine. At game's end, pass and score this card's negative victory points if it's not removed. So to remove this card, to fail it, we have to perform a successful repair action and forego a hull gained from doing so. Okay, that's problematic. So now we're rolling for ship placement. All right, 1, 3, 5, and 6. I'm pretty sure we just lose the game here. All right, so 1 is the Eastern Pacific. So we don't have a hidden ship there, which means we can't do anything. So we don't have, so the entire ocean is full, so we can't do anything there. replace a hidden ship token. We don't have any of those. Flip a non-revealed warship. Flip a non-revealed warship to its warship side. We'll flip a non-revealed warship to a warship. I think they're all... Yep, they're all warships. So now we're drawing warships to go in the Eastern Pacific. Oop, that's the treasure. Ship tokens are over here. Alright, it's going to come out as a warship. So the French armored frigate Gloire. Attack strength of 6, defense strength of 10, 1 notoriety if we sink it, and 1 warship point, which reminds me, we took all 3 of those ships, so 4 more notoriety. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that goes there. Then we'll use the 6 and the 3 as our points, but I'm pretty sure that's not going to be relevant here. Let's see, so 3, everything's a warship. We don't have any hidden ship tokens in it, so no hidden ship tokens here, no hidden ship tokens in adjacent oceans. Reveal a hidden ship, no. Flip a non-white warship, but they're all warships, so we draw a warship and place it in the Eastern Pacific. And the warship coming out, is the British capital ship Captain. Attack strength of 8, defense strength of 9, 2 notoriety if we sink it, and 4 warship victory points. Then for the 5, we'd run through the same thing here. No hidden ships here, no hidden ships adjacent, no hidden ship tokens there. Flip a non-white warship, they're all warships. So we place our last one here. Alright, so the ship coming out is the British Ironclad Enterprise. Attack strength of 7, defense strength of 10, 1 notoriety if we sink it, 2 warship victory points. And then for the 6, we'll go through everything here. So the oceans are... So there are no hidden ship tokens there. Reveal it, replace a hidden ship token with a ship, but we don't have any of those either. Then we flip a non-revealed warship to its warship side. They're all warships. And we draw a warship from the ship draw pool and place it in any empty rectangle. But there are no empty rectangles out, so we will end up losing this game. Which, that is unfortunate, but that will do it for this playthrough of Nemo's War. Let's see what kind of ending. I know I don't get victory points because we don't. So every ocean is completely full. So that represents a victory for the imperialist powers as they succeed in their global hunt for the Nautilus. Okay. So if we're defeated, don't bother scoring. So we'll go through the defeat section of the epilogues book. Let's see. Based on our objective. So our objective was explore. So we're defeated. Okay? Right? Yes. Okay. Pressing the edge of undersea knowledge, the Nautilus is lost with all hands, and its incredible adventures will not stir the imagination of mankind for another 100 years. Sadly, the world never learns about Captain Nemo, and his legacy is lost forever beneath the waves. Well, that will do it for this playthrough of Nemo's War. It took me 2 parts to get through it, but things did not go the way we wanted to at all. So I actually really enjoyed this game. I wouldn't say I'm surprised I enjoyed this game, but it definitely had a lot of narrative-heavy story focus that I really liked here. So definitely glad I ended up getting this game from Jester as part of the last trade that we did, getting rid of a lot of my Appa Hockey stuff. So we'll probably put this on the channel again at some point, now that I have a little better idea on what kind of length for the video I need. So that'll do it for this playthrough of Nemo's War. Tomorrow, we're going to have at least 2 episodes of Metal Gear Mondays as we play Metal Gear Solid, the board game, by Simon. We'll be starting off in the morning, trying to get out of the holding cells in Shadow Moses Island. So we'll be doing that for at least 2 sessions tomorrow. Wednesday, we're playing Age of Innovation from Feuerland Spiel. And Friday, we're going to be debuting... Well, actually, Saturday is what we'll talk about next for Mystical Munchies. I'm not going to talk about Friday just yet. Saturday, Mystical Munchies will conclude out of the Star Wars Life Day Cookbook as we make the drink Bantha Milk Hot Chocolate. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.